Hi guys, Martin Curry from Believe Media. In this video we're going to talk about one of the lesser used features on the mortgage broker website, and that is the bookmarks feature. It's on most pages, certainly within your blog and your FAQs and your insights and streets, modules and product pages and things like that. It's always available. Now we're looking just now at different ways of improving upon this. It's been a long time that we've used this, and we haven't really modified it probably in the last few years. In fact, if you look at our website here, which we're only just starting to integrate all the mortgage broker framework features over to our own website because they just perform so ridiculously well. So we're literally just sort of copying them from the feature we use for mortgage brokers, but just with our content. So this dates back to 2017. We've been using the bookmark since about 2014. So provide your web visitors with a smart bookmark feature. What is a smart bookmark feature? And that is one that provides a signal to your website. So it talks to your website. When a user clicks on a bookmark feature, it's a signal of intent. It's a declaration. They're telling us what they're interested in. Sure, we have BNet that sits as an Apache module effectively and sits over the top of your website and manages sort of pathways and funnel data, but this can be done programmatically, and it's responding directly to user inputs rather than trying to resolve anything. So this particular bookmark feature we made available was really extensive. It integrated directly with the control panel, a whole bunch of conditional features and so on. Really, really good. We made it available for free. It's still available for free on our website somewhere. To be honest, it has more features than our existing broker website bookmarks feature, but that won't be the case. In a couple of weeks we're going to update this. We'll make the changes available through our social channels and maybe through email or something and let you know what we're doing. But basically what the bookmarks feature does, let's get to the nitty gritty. The bookmarks feature will do, as you would expect, just bookmarks a page. In this case, let's bookmark this page. I'll add that, and that's an example of something that needs to be improved upon. We just return added page, which is pretty boring. You need to jazz it up a bit. What happens on the back end there is actually more significant. I might talk about that in a second. So I'll pull up another blog article here, and we've got the old one there. You hover over to get the tooltip, so the full title, which is truncated, so it fits in the button basically, and I'll add another one. Now, excuse me, you're probably familiar with my coughs at this point. I've had it for a month, so let's just add another page there. I've just added a related page. Okay, we've added that. Let's add a couple of FAQs. There is a video that sits in there that's not showing because it's not available. As you know, videos should be associated with every page on your website. Let's just look at the cash rate one. Now, for all of these bookmarks that appear on your website, there is an icon associated with those, and if I add this one and refresh the page, there's a couple of things that will be different. First of all, we'll see a different icon associated with the FAQ, and it is only marginally different. In this case, it's a speech bubble rather than the little note icon, and there is a different icon that applies to every post type in your site. The BSB section, for example, the resources, all the resources, searches, the streets module, lender products, schools, all those sorts of things that are on the back end, in the periphery, and in the shadows. Basically, they're not a front end focus. They're a funnel asset, but they all do show different icons here in this menu stack. But you'll notice here, remove bookmark. If we're on the page that is currently indexed, it doesn't really show very clearly there with that green margin around the how is the cash rate interest rate determined. I will have to change that as well. There's a lot of things I'll have to do, and I'll probably just change the color of the button so it's maybe a selected green or light green or something, you know, make it, and you'll see these changes take shape on your website sort of without you knowing it as we apply these plugin updates. So I can remove that page in this case, and bookmark removed. If I go to another page here, it's only going to show 3. Now, remember I said you've got all your bookmarks listed. You've got this option towards the top, My Bookmarks, and you've got this little review button. You can select either of those. It will take you to a basic page. It's one of those pages that is lacking stylistic flair right now, but we'll change that. I'm not sure how. One of the guys in our discussion group recommended excerpts associated with each post, but you know, excerpts will only apply for posts and pages and FAQs and so on, unless you manually insert them. A lot of that would have just gone over your head, by the way. But what I'd prefer to do is just have a more readable, stylistic table and just present the data a little bit differently. You select any of these and it will take you to the appropriate page. It does show how long ago the link was visited. So it does show end activity here as well. That's another module that's enabled in Yabba. It's disabled on everything, on every site by default. And another video will detail how to go through and enable that. And what that does is show the last 100 pages that the user has visited. So in most cases, you know, a conversion will probably come at 9 pages to 12 pages. 100 pages is going to record months and months worth of activity. We do not record pages in password protected client portals, and that's just because it's not really necessary, although there is a bookmarking feature for those portals. And it's not necessary to go into now. Our FAQs will detail all of that. So it's really standard stuff, and it's probably worth on this page just showing you in terms of, and first of all, before I do that, when we add somebody to our bookmarks, and I mentioned this before, it will tell us what they are interested in. If they add a page like construction loans or whatever, it's giving us a hint. So we're programmatically able to sort of to resolve what they're interested in long before any AI is able to do so. And we're able to show conditional content in various areas, such as a sidebar, that improves upon your likelihood to convert off that page. Now, our website already converts in higher numbers. This improves upon that, right? I've come to think of this as kind of an essential feature. When we first tested it, our very first test, I just looked it up before I hit record on this video. Our very first test was in 2015. That's when we first looked at the effectiveness of having a bookmarks feature on your site. And back then, the improvements across several 100,000 pages was about 15%, which is actually really significant. It might not sound like a big number, but it's huge in terms of improving upon the engagement without changing anything except adding a basic feature. Now, the second time we did it was in 2017. The numbers didn't change a great deal, and then we did it about a month ago, and it's still at 12%. Right, so it's a feature you kind of have to use even if you don't like it, because it's what your clients are asking for. We don't build websites on the basis of what you think you want. No offense, but you're never right. We build websites that we know clients will engage with. Right, it's a really big statement that you don't build sites that you want. If you had it your way, you'd have something simple like the, 98% of other websites on the market, which cost more than ours as well. No, you need a site that speaks the same language as the person that is visiting your website. You need something people come back to, and having the bookmarks feature enables them to come back and effectively take off where they left off. These bookmarks are all associated with a specific user, so they can close their browser, they can do whatever they want. In fact, it's a advanced feature, but as long as they go onto another computer that they've never touched before and log in, or if their email is recorded on that computer, so they've converted in some way, then those bookmarks will still show, because we resolve everything to a user level. We record more data, I think, than anything on certainly any product within the industry. What I'm doing is I'm pulling up the console. I just want you to have a look here at these numbers down the bottom. So it's got X, Y, timestamp. If I scroll down on this page, have a look what's happening. Scroll percent, 3, 10, 23, 49. Now this isn't done for shits and giggles. This is sending that data directly to Yabba, and it's recorded in Yabba. So where did they go on that page. What did they do? Did they convert? What sort of things did they do? What buttons did they press? Every single click is recorded. Certainly if I open up the calendar, I'm recording that. If I close the calendar, I'm recording that. If I open up just the time zone, I'm recording that. If I just click randomly on nothing, I'm recording that. If I open up the menu, I'm recording that. There is no, there's nothing. There's just nothing that's not recorded. And that includes if I hit on, if I bring up a random page here, review rates and lenders, I'll close this up as well. That's going to record that click and obviously do its thing there. So the point I'm making with all of that is we collect enormous amounts of data. And like I said, no one in the finance industry comes close to measuring the same amount of data we do. And I mean probably 100 times more than anybody else, because no one else in the industry tends to record anything. We've got about 30 tables we install on your website for the purpose of recording data and analytics, and that's in addition to what we have on Yabba. Yabba's got what we call Xena, which is a statistical engine. So all that stuff we looked at before with the scroll percentage and so on, and the click positions, that's all used for the purpose of generating heat maps. How does that link itself to Bookmarks? Now, Bookmarks is a little bit more than that, all right? Bookmarks is actually telling us something with a story. Everything else is just, if I click there and there and there, that's going to be recorded. It's not going to have a big impact on the data that we're able to resolve. You know, it's not going to tell us a lot about what the user was doing. If they flick through your page in 3 seconds and then scroll to the top, it's not going to tell us a great deal. If they scroll through very slowly, we know that they're reading. We're able to determine reading time, and if we've got a calculator in the middle, we're able to record the interaction on that. Now, look, there's just so much we can do, and so much we're able to tell, and so much that's able to be resolved through heat mapping and then broad statistical analysis of the data that is returned to us. As how and why we've been able to create a framework that is so effective. We get asked all the time, how is it so effective? How are you able to convert more clients? And that's because we look at this granular data. However, relating it back to my bookmarks, so how is this different? What does this do? And it's like a menu item. If someone clicks on rates, or if someone clicks on refinancing your home loan, that's a big signal, because we know that they're interested in something specifically. And there are ways of enhancing that. You know, we can add tags to links and things like that, which give the marketing Xena engine, the AI engine, even BNet, more information enabled to come to a decision. But if we've got a list of things, a list of pages we know that they are interested in, we're very easily able to resolve what else they might be interested in. And that's done statistically. For example, if 50 people look at a certain page, and then of that group, 90% of them look at another page, that page is probably interesting. And then we measure the time on page and scroll positions and conversions and things like that, and able to assess this. So this actually really helps. It's not just a user-facing feature. It's not just there for the purpose of providing users with a really cool way of saving their comparison searches, saving their rate data searches, saving their street searches, saving their favorite blog posts and things like that. It actually provides a really sound and solid function in order to then improve upon their engagement, which leads to more conversions. So it might look simple, but this simple tool just does so much. That's why when I looked through a few sites and saw people just weren't using it, they didn't have it activated, it kind of irritated me a touch. And I thought, okay, like most of our guys, they don't log into Yabba very often. They don't need to unless they're sending emails or text messages. They probably haven't hunted down this little obscure menu that deals with this, so it's well and truly our fault. So from the next plugin update, the date today is the 16th of October 2025. From the next plugin update, it will be activated by default. So it'll just come to life one day. You'll probably see 2 buttons that look like that with the add current page and review under the bookmarks feature. If I didn't say so before, only 7 items are shown in the bookmarks feature. One of our managed guys in one of the discussion groups said, oh, can we define that? And yes, you can, but 7's about your limit. Otherwise it pushes the important stuff a little bit down lower. It's a little bit like, you know, should we have the bookmarks above the, you know, the primary blog, FAQ, knowledge-based blog commentary and all that sort of stuff, or above the, you know, I am interested stuff, which is part of sidebar functionality. If you're going to have a sidebar, you kind of need those little questions to be asked. Yes, you can. You can move this down if you want to. We've put it up the top because we've just determined that it improves upon conversions if it is up the top. And it is more often used when it's up the top and a user doesn't have to scroll down. So that's that, guys. Really, really good feature, and it does amazing things, and it contributes towards our conditional, our shared conditional understanding of a user very, very quickly and easily. It will improve upon the engagement on your website, and it will, as random as it sounds, it will objectively improve upon your conversions overall into your real-world funnels. So there you go. If you've got any questions or inquiries, certainly call me at any time on 0400 777 300. So call or text as you need to. Our website at beliefmedia.com.au. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.